Dishnet, what the hell, my dude? What? Thank you so much for the raid. What's going on? Actually, I appreciate it so much. How many minutes ago was that? Did you just get here? I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long. I was making some tea. A few minutes ago. Okay, well, welcome everybody. Let me turn that off. That was the unused battle theme from Omori, in case anybody was wondering. My name is Twilight King 432. I am a variety streamer. Currently streaming, as you can see, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I'm on case 2. I believe we're still in the investigation, but we had a to be continued, and I thought that was a good moment to take a break. But otherwise, I do a lot of random stuff, whatever I feel like playing. I've just done a couple streams recently of Mario Party 5, one of which was actually against some friends of mine, so that was pretty fun. Otherwise, you know, I like Mario Sunshine, Kirby, Metroid a lot. I like Metroid. But I play just about whatever I feel like. Nothing, no real rhyme or reason to anything I do here, and I think maybe I'm a little too loud into my mic, so let me just turn that down a little bit. Aww, appreciate this. I appreciate that. Let me give you a shout out. I have that now, actually. Shout out, Dish. Out of the Park Baseball 22. How was it? Was it fun? Did you have a good time? I hope you had a good time. So for anybody who doesn't know how we do things around here, oh, this is going to be a nightmare. I wasn't supposed to do this right now. Oh lord. Well, I guess I was so excited. I had a surprise for in case I got raided tonight. All the big tournament had some good times. Stop. Pardon your ears. 1 second. There were your countermeasures. I brought back my old ones for a little bit because I felt like it. Yeah, those were my original countermeasures, actually. So I figured it has been long enough. I'm going to try and alternate between them just in case. Because the other night, I got raided like 8 times, and I had to play the same video 8 times. I was like, I might as well split it up a little bit, you know? Not let one countermeasure do all the heavy lifting. Yeah, 8. I was as surprised as you are right now. But it got me thinking, so anyway, back to the game. Let's save. Alright, Z back. Okay. Again, I really appreciate the raid, dude. It means a lot. Ninth January. SS Buria. First class passenger. I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we managed to find some clues to what that speckled band might be. You didn't manage to investigate at all. Yeah, because I went straight for the thing, I guess, that I was supposed to go for. I didn't look around at all. And I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us as if to say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, I have a horrible Russian accent, but I'm still doing it. What is it? Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go? Oh yes, he's completely disappeared. When did he do that? Probably the same time he put that. He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrists. I guess I want to see what this is. I'm really curious. The mousetrap? Ah, a trap for catching. Oh, that's, yeah. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Yes, I think that's what is called cheese. It's made from the milk of cows. Cheese? I wonder what that tastes like. It's delicious, Ryu. You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. The trap will snap shut on your fingers. Really? But, I suppose you're right. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Cosmo's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. For you. I'll find a little snack for you later. First class cabin. That's not our cabin. Not our cabin. It's Cosmo's. Sorry. Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. Man, that's pretty good. I made some spiced apple chai tea. I wonder if Inspector Hosonaga has managed to uncover any new clues. Yes, we should probably find him and ask. Although I did run into a little bit of trouble, the milk. Alright. I really wish we'd had a chance to look around in Miss Pavlova's cabin. But, why you look like that? You want something? Hmm? Maybe you want me to throw you out again, hmm? Oh, no, definitely not that. Next time I have to throw you out, I show you where lobsters spend winter. Understand? Understand. Maybe I should steer clear of him until he's forgotten my face. I don't think he'll ever forget your face, Naruhodo-san. I guess I don't think there's anything left to examine. I can just move at this point. Just go to our cabin, probably. Oh, yeah. Say hello. I can't do Arnold's voice at all. The governor. Lar. Lar. It's more Ivan Drago, yeah. No, oh, what did that say? Yes, on that subject. I wonder if Inspector Hosonaga is unscathed. What do you mean, unscathed? Really, you haven't forgotten, have you, Naruhodo-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of this cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you. Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. Might have some new information for us, you never know. So, am I supposed to, like, go back? Where did you go? Oh, sorry, why? Who gave you permission for this? Well, Seaman Hosonaga did. That new Japanese faucet. Later, I will roll him into a ball and throw him in cold room. Whew. Go back to guarding the door. Going on his way to help us then. When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at Le Carnival. That could be a very long time from now, Naruhodo-san. Oh. So it's clear that these letters were written with ink that somehow spilled on the floor. They spelled a Russian word for wardrobe. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in a cold room either. Unless I'm sleeping, then a fairly cool room would be nice. It does seem to be an unambiguous pointer to you, Naruhodo-san, as you were sleeping in there. But to be truly unambiguous, it should have just spelled out my name, don't you think? Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma-sama would have written his last words, or word, in Russian. Which begs the question of who did write it. It was beef stroganoff. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Let me try the vent again. So this ventilator joins to Miss Pavlova's cabin. Yes, that's right. And just a few minutes before he died, Kazuma saw something emerging from it. The speckled band, as he described it. If only Miss Pavlova had been able to shed some light on it, but she seemed as baffled as we were. Yes, I wonder if she's telling us everything, though. I'm not sure. I know most people would say the same about me, but there was something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. Alright, Inspector, let's see what's going on. Oh lord. Poor dude. Ah, you're back. Inspector, what happened to you? Your face is...
Please, don't worry about it. This happens all the time. They're just scratches.
Maybe a bear, maybe.
When I told the captain that I'd given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fists and then toss me overboard.
What?
But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really.
Looks like he wasn't joking when he said he'd lay his life on the line if he had to. Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin.
Yes, so I understand. Oh. I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Herlock Sholmes. Herlock Sholmes. I don't think he was German, though.
Ah, that explains it. Shall we compare notes then? We can tell you what we found out.
Yes, let's do it.
I like this guy.
What? Nicolina Pavlova. She's in the cabin next door.
Oh, do you know who she is?
Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel?
Oh, he's a ballet fan, huh? Oops, I think I upset him there.
Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case at least.
Oh, how?
Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they?
Down. Okay, no. I just said I liked you.
Oops, now I've definitely upset him.
Inspector, has your investigation in here proved fruitful? If I'm honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't undisturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watch here, trying not to take my eyes off the job.
Oh,
I see.
Ah, there is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you.
Oh, what? Yes, do tell us, Inspector.
Alright, new information.
What is this new information you have?
It's this. The Buria's medical officer has finished the examination of the body. I managed to obtain a report.
Oh, Cosmos postmortem report. Oh yeah, the music's gonna die there. That's sad, man. I'm so sad about this. What was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report. Oof. His neck was broken? Yes, it would seem so. There were no other obvious wounds or other signs of injury. But first, I think they were considering poison. But it turned out they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Well, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as yet, but the fact that there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see. I wasn't doing his voice for a while there, I'm sorry. All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. There's a possibility. And no obvious wound would be left. Poor Cosimo.
I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it.
Really? Are you sure?
Yes, it's fine. I trust you. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I?
I like him. Postmortem report has been entered into the court record. Cool. Alright, the great detective, Zvari, look at me, is here. Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, was he? Yes, seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about
on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored.
Did he say anything at all?
Actually, now that you mention it, yes. Just one thing, but he practically shouted it. "It's shoe polish," was all he said.
Shoe polish? Oh, I wonder what he meant. Oh, this on the floor.
Yeah, by the piece of broken glass, do you see?
Ah, perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark. Do you think?
Yes, that must be it.
But how could Mr. Sholmes know that it's shoe polish? Did he taste it?
That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea.
What is it, Suzato-san? Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue. Dark tan? Sort of dark brownish red, then. I don't know if I would consider tan to have any traces of red in it, but you do you, game. Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him. Oh, does this mean the mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoes as they scuffed on the floor? Cool. Now we know.
It's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post.
Hey, Eggers. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Oh, how are you? My fellow crewman's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yes, that might be for the best.
Thank you.
Poor Inspector, you look exhausted. Oh, no, well. I feel terrible that I failed to protect Asugi-san. It was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were as friends. The truth is, I seem to have had a heavy head ever since I woke this morning. You too, huh? Heavy head? That's interesting. My head's still throbbing too. Is there anything else in this room that I can really deal with? The desk? Yeah, I guess. In his diary. I'm not reading all that again. I mean, if it was me, I would definitely have a headache, because I always have them, but... I mean, it's possible to believe he's gone. We have to solve... Yes, we will, girl. Can I leave now? Oh, hello, rites passage. Yeah, she was breaking the rules. Like that Fairly Odd Parents game. She called her friend. Oh no, I'm glad all is well now, and I'm glad he's safe and, you know, not cold, because I know lizards. Watch out for that. Can I leave? Yep. Okay. Cool, I didn't think it would. Well, I guess there was only one place for me to go. So this is one of those games where you can just travel from point A to any point B, huh? You don't have to go through anything? Look, Naruto-san. Demon Stroganoff is gone. Strong enough? The burly Russian sailor who's always crossing his arms and glaring at us? Ugh, all these Russian names are impossible to remember. Oh, tra-la-la. You hear that? It sounded like someone singing. Tra-la-la-la-la. Oh, tra-la-la-la-la. Tra-la-la-li-da-li-da-li. I did it the great detective way. Detective way. Sterling. I know that lark-like voice. Well, never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us. Yes, you're right. We must seize it. You must whip it. Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can, and definitely before that stringy knot crewman comes back. Stroganoff, not stringy knot. I'm not great with names, but I'm not, you know, I'm not terrible with them. Like, I'll remember people's names, but you know, it'd be hard sometimes. Anyway, first class cabin number 2. Oh, Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. Suzato-san. Oh, where's she gone? Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things. There's not a moment to waste, Naruto-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can. I suppose you're right, for Cosmo's sake. Not just for Cosmo-sama. What do you mean? It can't be long now until we arrive at port in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. Really? We must solve this case, Naruto-san. By ourselves, we have to. We're gonna have to do port in Hong Kong next? Yes, we will. Well, first things first, we need to see this, but... yeah. Oh my, Miss Pavlova's case is open. Completely empty inside, but according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding her special friend in here. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret, because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Borea. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. More to the point, where is it now? Oh lord. Lord almighty. Yeah. I'm sure they only get longer from here, so this one's probably, you know,
mid-length. I think that's a God of the Sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though. It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door. In Cosmo's cabin. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase. She didn't want to do ballet anymore. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company? Alright then. Must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage? I getcha. Not everything bad that happens on the ship is because of me, you know. Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again in here, too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. Oh, there's some books missing. But I guess we're not gonna talk about that. Okay, fine. Oh, they must be over here. Never mind. There are just a few books on the desk, nothing else by the looks of it. Well, Miss Pavlova only ran away from the ballet last night. She's hardly occupied this cabin for any time at all. That's true. I wonder what kind of books she likes to read. Let me see. Yes, I see. It would seem that Miss Pavlova enjoys reading books written in Russian. Thanks. I think I probably already knew that. It's rude to ask too much of people, Naruhodo-san. Kindly remember that. Naruhodo-san, are you there? Sorry, I'm right here, yes. Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home! Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see, you know. Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. It's full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes. I was rather hoping we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding here, but no such luck. There's one of these next to the bed in Cosmo's cabin, too. Yes, it's a bell cord. I can't resist. You're gonna give us away that we're in here? She barely hesitated. She gave it a good tug, too. No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come. We don't want them to. We're trying to investigate in secret. Thank you, Ryu. So this ventilator connects to Cosmo's cabin next door. Yep. Yes. Although what a foolish shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room. Ah, maybe there's a gas leak next door. The occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm. Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning. That was 3-2, yes. The emergency buzzer, yep. That is a possibility. Last night, Cosmo... Yeah, oh no. Don't forget to ring that subscribe bell and smash that MF like button. It would seem this teapot is empty. So the natural conclusion is that Russians are a very thirsty people. Or it's because Mrs. Pavlova only came to this cabin last night. She hasn't had the chance to make any tea yet. I mean, it could be either. It's definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I'd lay 1,000 to 1 on it. Wow. You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Naruhodo-san? Wow, really, just right there with the Russian strength jokes. Wonder what this little saucer is doing on the floor. Yes, it doesn't look like it's been dropped. More like it was put there deliberately. Ah, do you think there could be a leak in the roof just above here? What? A leak? Is this ship quite safe? I'm sure that even if there's a little leak in the roof, it doesn't mean the whole ship is gonna sink. No, you're right. Of course you're right. She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? I love her. She's so good. Come on, man. We all know this is to feed the animal. I suppose every cabin has a waste paper basket. No. Shall we have a little... Oh, Jesus, you're one of those people? Naruhodo-san, it's poor etiquette to go sifting through someone's rubbish, you know. Ugh, those eyes. She's looking at me like I'm a piece of rubbish now. However, these are special circumstances, I think. Exactly, we have no choice. There's hardly anything in here at all, because she's been here for a day. The only thing I know about the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs movies is that Bill Hader was Flint Lockwood, and that is mind-blowing to me. The first one's great. Nice. My dad did not like the second one when he took my brother to see it. This cabin door has the same simple sort of bolted latch that our cabin door has. Bolts drawn across this door when anyone can enter the cabin from inside, outside. Yeah. One side of it's on the cord. On the door is made of metal, so there's no chance of trickery using magnets unbolted from the outside. Cool. Seals up perfectly too to stop any seawater from coming in. So you couldn't use the method you told me of passing a thread through a crack and the closed door either. You know a lot of tricks for opening doors. I'm starting to see why they suspect me. What else is in here? Oh, this. Special friend, yeah. Yep, Seaman Stroganoff, we know. Oh, let me just wait. Oh, I didn't. Anything else of note here? 3 coat hangers. Let me go back and see if I can't talk to I can't talk to her. Huh. Did I do everything in here? By the way, just in case you guys are, you know, wanting to make sure, I will explicitly address chat for help if I want help. I trust you guys, I just want to make that clear. Y'all know how the blind Let's Play thing goes. Let me leave the room for a minute and see what's going on. It doesn't seem like there's anything else here. Right, the Mew under the semi-truck. How could I forget? Can I move out of here? Will it let me? What am I getting? Am I gonna run into Holmes? Or Sholmes? Oh, there he is. Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes, look! Oh, you never know where he's gonna turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. I did it the great detective way. Still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Or he's simply in extremely high spirits? He seems like he's usually in extremely high spirits. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew when the yard bit off more than it could chew. Okay. Excuse me, but... Huh? Mr. Sholmes! I love his animations. He's so, for lack of a better word, he's so animated and I love him. Yeah, that's right, give him the 1-2 punch, Lil Mac, come on. Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and I was just about to reach the climactic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never gonna stop, so I figured now's as good a time as any. I very nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get the picture. Now could you put those fists away? Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah yes, that. I was immersed in the study of the ship's log as penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on guard here. Oh yes, the ship's log. Did you find anything useful from it? Well, after 2 AM this morning, the majority of the entries are blank. Which means there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so... You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. That's actually, like, kind of clever. But, like, it's still not okay. Well, I guess it's not... Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Observe the other pages, and all shall become clear. We've seen the same crewman that oft stands sentry in this first-class passageway, and he has an almost religious practice of reporting nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes that every 30 minutes? Nothing to report? Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. You mean he wasn't there? Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night, like the game which is afoot, which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribing nothing to report in the log. Those are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must now log the ship's log in your mental file. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. You're starting to understand what my way is, I see. Make Sholmes Sholmes. Brilliance. Ooh, ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I do explicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason, nothing more. Well, my friends, until our next encounter. He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Is something wrong, Suzato-san? You seem lost in thought. Well, I feel the same. Sorry? Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache. I love him. I love him so much. He's adorable. Oh, you too, huh? And Sholmes. Sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? Oh, is that all? Okay. Is that all? Go here again, see if there's anything new here. Doesn't seem like it. I hear them? I'll check my cabin again just in case. My ding-a-ling, my dings. Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted at quarter-mile port. Oh lord. Full stop. Hard to starboard. All hands, brace for impact. What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? I can't stand it. Suzato-san, hold on to me. Oh god. Lord almighty, what is happening? Suzato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruhodo-san. It looks like we avoided a collision. I think... Yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness, what about you, Naruhodo-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like it's Sholmes again. Oh, it's Hosonaga. Is that you in there, Naruhodo-san? Unbolt the door quickly. Unbolt the door quickly. What the bolt? Look at that. The door's bolted because we tilted and the oh my god. And that's strange. How did... And the books. They're just like they were before again. Naruhodo-san, aren't you gonna open the door and let the inspector in? I better tidy this place up first. Wow, that must have taken at least 5 minutes. Our vital emergency stop one mystery in at least a very vivid way. Yeah, foreboding in your heart. No, Hosanaga's good. What, another one? Wow. Jesus Christ, it's only been like an hour, dude. Yeah, I'll save. Just go straight into it, I guess. It's a little soon for another intermesh. 9th January, SS Borea, Miss Pavlova's cabin. Somehow, the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Suzato-san took a deep breath and gently slid back the bolt, and... Oh look, it's Stroganoff. You, what are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters? Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Yes, we're fine, thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship? Yes. It appears to have been a false report. A false report, though. Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person's obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop. Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming. Crew are running everywhere. Is he the dude? Is he the Russian dude? Villain Bolshevik? Don't answer that. Someone triggered the alarm. Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside? You wicked intruder, dressed in all black. You are the devil. Sorry, me. I've been called a lot of things before, but devil's a first. You opened my traveling case. How could you? What? No, we didn't touch it. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector. Yes. Arrest this man. I know he did it. He's a criminal. Is it not enough that he has killed a man? Ah, and he is stole away as well. Your vixen promises not to steal chicken. Do you believe? Ugh. Take him away. He's a trespasser as well as everything else. Stowing away, trespassing, killing. She's right. You are devil. Doesn't look good, does it? There's a cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hosanagi, is there nothing you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. Start from left to right, I guess. Miss Pavlova, can I... Get out. Get out now. We just need to investigate in here. Well, it's no use. It's not gonna listen. No one who will. Well, it's not gonna be you, so... Hello. Well, I guess you don't have any jurisdiction, so... Got yourself into a difficult situation here. By entering this cabin uninvited, I mean. Sorry, I was so desperate to find a clue. I'm afraid there's really nothing more I can do to help you. If I push my luck any further, a punch to the face will be the least of my worries. I'm really sorry. I have to take responsibility for giving you the freedom to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. Now that this has happened, I'll have to report to the captain at once. I really need some help here. I need a savior to... It's not... It ain't you, is it? No. Oh, hello! I know it's not him, so hello! What the... What are you doing up there? He reminds me of me a little bit. Mr. Sholmes? Oh, you're wearing a little PR. Naturally. I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not? This isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no. Well, why were you hanging from that hook then? It's obvious to properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally. I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited-looking hook on the wall, so full of brag and bounce. I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. I love him. You again, the great detective. Ah, Inspector. I confess I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. Get him. What is to report? Speak. Urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes, the case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Buria, has been solved by me, naturally. What? Really? Yes, I've eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations like this. I don't believe them. So allow me to illuminate all of your minds. I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Lard, can you say great anymore? Ah, you have solved it. Even a hedgehog understands the case.
We all knew who was responsible for killing student boy this morning when we found criminal in wardrobe. It is this stowaway, and he has the handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it. Trouble is, there doesn't appear anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because, as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. That means the culprit must have been someone who was inside the cabin. Not if we turned the ship. Not if the ship stopped and tilted after the murder happened. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in some stories. Ah, locked room. That is point. I don't know if it's grill marks, but he's definitely got marks, yes. The room was locked. I can't deny that. You are all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there's another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. Oh, what other entrance? We never discovered one. Why, it gapes open-mouthed at you even as we speak. The ventilator man. Come on now. You think this is funny? I cannot even pull my arm through that hole. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening? It's not possible. Ah, but it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean... Are you referring to the words Kazuma-san wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looked like some kind of speckled band is... Damn it. Yeah. Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. What I am about to expose for you all, see, will shock you to your cores. Behold! Ah, oopsie! Behold! Hello, Snakey. Mr. Snake. Allow me to introduce you all to the band. The Speckled Band. Yeah, we knew, because we saw the cutscene. Indubitably. Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Right, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled. That snake isn't really speckled, is it? Looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Yes, you're right. I think in this case you'd have to call it the striped band. Yep. Wouldn't you? You both see and observe, with distinction, however. Do you not think this is precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? Oh, exactly. I think perhaps it is time I explain the intricacies of my train of thought. Gonna be another deduction. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one. Last night, your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. And number two. That same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. No, yet. She's turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Sholmes must be right, he said the nail on the head. His young woman's friend killed Mr. Asogi? Looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So everyone, let's begin. The lock Sholmes is proud to present. Oh, here we go again.
This is a long-ass investigation. Is there even going to be a trial? Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall this horrid event, your aching heart smarts with pain. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Oh, I suspected. Another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. Are there two snakes on the damn boat? What explanation can we give? Pray. What was the sight that fell upon the victim's eyes that night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary, even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying, but failing to conceal, can only be the snake's sloughed skin. Evidently, after the subtle and horrible crime. Oh, a snake's on a plane. It's the most deadly friend of yours. Shed its original skin. No? I don't know what you are talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, that your then speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime is a rare breed of snake whose markings change each time it slugs its skin. Snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it will be found in the deepest depths of India. Oh lord. Is there more? Oh Jesus Christ. How Mr. Asogi died. The grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the date of which I've been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. Ah. In fact, the circumstances of the no, there was no poison. Take that fact. Take that fact. We can reasonably imagine there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes. Oh lord. This makes no sense. This makes no sense to me either. There isn't no point in feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't. It's telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you heard. The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. Ooh, train? Indeed, you'd put the serpent through this ventilator and back, and wait. After a period, you'd summon it back with a whistle. You couldn't know the animal has done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared to have not been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny the snake has undergone such training? It's not true. Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature only needed to sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young's man's life. There can be no doubt my logic is infallible, except for the parts where it is. He wasn't poisoned, bro. You gotta let this one go. I got this. I got that second one, no doubt. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, everyone's speechless. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor, you observe a source of milk. Forms of food is the key to training any creature. Incredible! You've solved the mystery! No, you haven't. Amazing! Your great detection really lives up to its name. Now I see now why Herlock Sholmes has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. We do not say that. Did I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course, what's on your mind? It's just about your deductions before. Some things don't quite make sense to me. I welcome questions as to my method. I will answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madam. And reptiles, don't drink milk. Ah. It's really only mammals that like... She really does have a cat, doesn't she? I thought it was a snake, but she must not... Is that snake not hers? So I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No doubt, Miss Pavlova. Yes, yes, yes. Milk is merely an example. Logical. Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Ah? Yes, I'm not sure a snake would be whistling. Madam, what about the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of flute? I think perhaps performers play their music in times with the snake's natural movements. Oh, let's see. No hands, no feet, no ears. These creatures are so inept and to be practically useless. Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Sholmes. There is one other thing. You have more? Snakes use the scales. What? Propel themselves. I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones at these cabins. Then it should try hard. Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this. Oh, poor thing looks so defeated. He says, I told you, I had no part in this. I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh no, you don't mean... Yep, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. That feeling that was coming. You ever eaten snake, Blue? I've never had it. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. So, cast your eyes down to your wrists again. What? Yep. You've done it again! Your handcuffs are gone. Where did they go? Fear not. I shall see they're restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Gotcha. Now everyone, let us begin. The The logic and reasoning spectacular. This is a fun mini-game, actually. It takes a while, but it's fun. Yeah. I love his animations. The motion capture is so freaking good. Aching heart. Mmm. Wow.
Yes!
Yes! Yes, when you recall those horrid events that it would be funny if Ryu tried to do Sholmes' accent. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, those claw scratch marks, that claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed, and simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch sometime last night? God, it's a pal. No, God, it is Athena's thing. They have to come up with a new speech bubble for every lawyer. We know this. When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse. Is that right? Oh yes. No. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Little kitty cat. Oh, he's so cute. Oh my god. That's such a cute kitty cat. Oh, look at him. Look. Oh. Yeah, got it is the mood matrix in particular. Little kid.
Yes!
Yes. The scratch. Oh dear. Oh dear. The whereabouts of this black kitten aren't clear. I think it should be aren't clear because whereabouts is plural. But what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Ah. Darka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Darka would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question to— oh, here we go. Where is it? That seems wrong. Yeah. Yeah. That's not sneaks. Let me examine that a little bit. Oh, in particular. But I thought the cat's toy.
Yes!
But we know you have a cat on board, so why would you try and hide the cat's toy? I don't think it's long enough for that, unless she can fit in there. I mean, we have evidence. I saw the bell around her neck. It was after I gave her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared to the ventilator. Taka, she is so naughty. The game really had me convinced for a while that she had a pet snake, because I wouldn't be surprised. People have them. Yes, the Grim Demise. Well, the cat couldn't have done it. Nope. Postmortem.
Yes!
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Oh yes. This necklace. Indeed. Seaman Stroganoff isn't some immortal freak, you know. Jury is out. The jury is out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. And we take that as fact. We can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? That's what I was saying. Yeah, it wasn't the cat. I don't know what this would have to do with it, but I'll look through this again. We got ship's log. Let me just double check it. Nothing to report. Okay. Oh, probably here. I don't see anything in this picture. No. Okay. I'll give it a shot. Beef is fine. Beef stroganoff is a very strong Russian. Okay, it was not that. Oh, I do have health. Oh, we're trying to get... Okay. Oh, it was definitely the shoe stain. Oh, Jesus Christ. I wasn't sure. I'm not smart, guys. I know this is the thing, but like... I could have gone with my gut. But I don't really see how that's going to prove the cause of death. It's positive shoe polish. Shoe polish. Indeed, positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results, the undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mr. Asogi's laced leather shoes. It's just Cyclox again, Blue. For some reason, Mr. Asogi must have caught his foot at that point on the floor and tripped. Please no. and by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant, he lost his life. I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? With that, what about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asugi lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. Now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right, you hid the evidence. No. That's not right. This is the only thing here that she would have looked at, I think, unless I... It's not the traveling case that... Let me look and see what's in here. Health literally exists just to stop you from brute forcing something. It's what it is, I guess.
Yes!
In the context of the game, if you keep messing up enough, you lose credibility, so it makes some sense. Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it seems. One that has a familiar air, in fact. Precisely, we found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Asugi's cabin. And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly. Oh no. So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in a waste paper basket in your cabin? Not doing that. You're well acquainted with this glass fella, you not? I don't know in that hushed Russian accent of yours. Won't save you this time, Duko. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. It's the picture, because I saw the bell in it.
Yes!
You look at this photograph. You can clearly see that every time it makes me laugh, hanging from Daka's collar. The very glass bell in question. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble? Your absent feline friend, Daka. Oh. He didn't do nothing wrong. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. What an autopsy right there. Death by tripping over a cat. Elementary. I know. Poor thing. I feel like there's definitely more to this than meets the eye, like a transformer. But like, I don't know. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darga, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. And that's how you applied the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it. Yeah, yes,
And I had read the rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darker with me. Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. I listened and listened, trying to hear this one noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet, I'm sure. If someone was there, he must be sleeping. But at that point, you thought it... So at that point, you thought it safe to try and lure the kitten back in. By dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator and into the adjoining cabin. Daka always loves this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling sound Cosmo wrote about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. No. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... I nearly passed out. I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out and then... Oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Cosmo was... From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Burya is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Asagi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet, the combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. But what became of the kitten afterwards? In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet Daka is nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case. And now she disappeared again. Gracious. That cat is as insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least. When I woke this morning, I heard a young man in the cabin next to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right, where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it and where did it come from? Oh, so right. Oh, so now I was on the screen. I thought it was him. What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board this ship? It must be your friend. Oh, I didn't say. The snake is my friend. His name is Piroshko. Piroshko? Is that how you say that? That's what I'm going with. Piroshko. Hmm? What? The snake belongs to you. He escaped from cage when emergency alarms sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him in here. Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board. We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long with our close friend without someone who understands? Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? But my dear burly fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake, surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom. Hmm? Piroshko does not have venom. He is harmless, very long, but very gentle. He's adorable, like Granny. It's venomless. Yes, now he is hungry, but so he is in bed mood. But once I feed him, you will see him smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Huh, like they say milk chickens? Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stores. Piroshko eats mouses. Big, fat, round mouses. Oh, so... Is that what the mousetrap in the passageway out there is for? Of course. How else can I get my friend's favorite food? Nothing says top of the food chain like the look in their eyes right now.
it uses to drink milk, it can't hear a whistle, it can't climb up a bell cord, and it's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role? It is not my fault. I do not make up stories. My piroshko has nothing to do with this incident. So, that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. Miss Pavlova, I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But what are you talking about, Miss Mikotova? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events. An accident. I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth, but even I can see it was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Yeah, sure, totally. To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure of it, I just can't quite put my finger on it. I confess, I was intending to let Scotland Yard dealing with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh. I am only present here for a very specific reason. Truth is you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? You've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. Not again, when did he do that? Especially as they're on your wrists as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. You. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not? Yes. Kazuma was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom, even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. I hope you guys are enjoying the voice acting. I can't do a lot of accents, and I don't do any of them well. The key to this discrepancy is in Miss Pavlova's story. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. The truth about how you really died. About that scene in your cabin, really, how they see it. Oh, this is so sad. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. So then, shall we begin? Yes. What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? This is what we must establish in the first instance. But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident.
Hold it!
Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I also wear myself out with the voice acting. I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story. The evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't have possibly been a mere accident. Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. Evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. Oh, it refilled my health goal. It would be the writing. On the... Yeah.
Yes!
The truth is clearly recorded. The truth is clearly recorded in its photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asugi could have left this message on the floor. That script. It's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language. Japanese in this case. But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry, what do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There is no way that Mr. Asugi could have left this message on the floor, and the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Ah. Which means, after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything because he was already dead. That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asugi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't have possibly been there, even if what Miss Pavlova told us were true. What? So Suzato-san has noticed it too, then. Putting this message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. How did only half of the bell end up in her trash can? That's what I need to know. I think this is it.
Yes!
This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. But that's the glass bell the kitten had around his neck. We already knew about that. It was broken in half and the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, there's a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. What? If that's what really happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? Ah. Yes, remember that we found that other half of the glass bell in the waste paper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no. Both of these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asugi died last night in this cabin, there was someone else in the room. And that same person deliberately managed to arrange the scene to disguise the truth in order to cover up his or her own guilt. Yes, there was someone else present at Mr. Asugi's... Oh god, it's Mr. Roganov. You are wasting time. Someone else was there. Ah, of course, we know this. What are you talking about? Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There is no way in or out. Oh, yes. And only other person in cabin when young student died was you.
Yes!
It's true, I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I would have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Give me my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. And then, the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor for fear of it becoming evidence that would now show how Mr. Asugi really died. But why wouldn't this person have taken all of the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. A single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would have barely cast any light onto the floor there. Little wonder then that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. You all suspect me, don't you? You got your snake off. Seaman Stroganoff. Nina is woman of sea. She's daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on the ship, a member of ship's band. You do not accuse Ship's Angel of being criminal. So that's it. You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. But that is not possible. I give my tooth. Well, this is all most interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? You are a great detective, you should know. Your daughter? Look, truth and eyes. Kevin Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go into Kevin. Not Nina, not anyone. Or do you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? Нет, it's impossible. Oh, he's right. Well, I know the answer to this. But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches so they can... Fred, are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors. Certainly not. These are watertight doors as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel with not a gap inside. No threads or needles or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. Mr. Naruhodo, wait to throw me out of the bus, girl. Suzato-san, how can you shift it onto me like that? Seaman Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily. But I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind having been useful. I don't believe it. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? Way to shut the bolt outside the cabin door from the outside. One way does spring to mind, yes. Do you really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, and so should you. Because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. So would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Yep, I know it.
Yes!
Thank God she put these back up. Look at the bookcase there. See how the books are fallen, or whatever it's. That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent volt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. Violent volt. That's so funny to me. I believe, yes, that's what's known as the force of inertia acting on the objects. Is there nothing Suzato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't there a book at least? Well, whatever it's called. The same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. A bolt on the cabin door. It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We'd come to this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. And hello, is anyone in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like Inspector Hosanada. Oh yes, that's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and locked the door. It's made of metal. Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved. Oh. Or the force of inertia, if you want to call it. Or are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Asugi was killed, are they gonna animate that? The SS Borea made another emergency stop? When I woke up in this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I? Then when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over just like in Mr. Asugi's cabin. Oh my! Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? Are you out of your mind? You say Buria made emergency stop? It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room. Oh, it is simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside, used to trigger the emergency alarm? Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there, telling you to only press the buttons in times of emergency. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. Sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Wait, it was you? When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings, and the vessel comes to a complete stop. Hey, Westerford, thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate it. How was your stream? I'm also really surprised that the other raid that we had tonight didn't show up in the chat. I'm in the log, but that's okay. How was your stream, Westerford? I assume you were doing Great Ace Attorney as well, and you're probably further than I am, if that is any indication of the, if your raid message is any indication. Well, you know what to do. Well, you know what time it is. Countermeasures time. Sorry, I had to pause the game so that, because it kept advancing the dialogue anytime I clicked OBS, so my apologies for that. Thank you so much for the raid again, Westford, and welcome Unknown Slayer 69. Hope you're doing well, both of you. Hope your stream was good. And as indeed it did a little earlier today, and then just ellipses from Hosonaga. Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, the button has but one purpose in life, to be pushed. To be pressed, whatever the occasion. I love this guy. He sounds almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with ship? I report you to Captain. You are in much trouble now. Now, I'm sure all that can wait till later. Let us not overlook who taught you a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, all the bolts in the cabin side doors slide closed. So, what we must now consider. Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asagi, did the ship make an emergency stop? Or did it not? You are idiots. Buria is a huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop even in the middle of the night, there will be chaos everywhere. What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruto? Well, certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruto? Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that this emergency gripped the vessel last night? Huh? Ah. Because he didn't write nothing to report, I bet.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff. It's your duty to patrol the first-class area of the ship, isn't that right? Ah, that's correct. Why? In the ship's log here. This would be where you record the details of your duties? What are you doing with that? That is mine. Ah, you rather carelessly left it up the little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with a reminder to return to you later. I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always. The point is, looking at what you usually report, it's clear that under normal circumstances, you write the phrase "nothing to report" every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log? That is, because nothing happened. But if nothing happened, you would normally write "nothing to report," wouldn't you? Indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Burger. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night? Stop talking rubbish. If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh? Oh, why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed. We all hit our heads, didn't we? Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. Took out to the voice. The ship lurched so violently, the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night. Well, no, that's a good point. What of the throbbing? Lord, what do you mean? Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered with it. Ah! Oh, yes, I have had a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up this morning. Nor have I. Hold up. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. He's right, my head's been throbbing today too. Wow. Since eating my dinner yesterday evening, everything's felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was a throbbing pain in my head. I'd already been dragged out of the wardrobe. And had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Didn't I wake up when all that was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo. You boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes. Sorry. The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Well, Cosmo looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact, I had all of that. Cosmo wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken? Oh. Food poisoning? The chicken was bad? I guess it was kind of far-fetched for everybody to hit their head. My dear fellow, does that not strike you? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken? I do. No. Really? Is that really true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with, or drugged. I guess it could have been drugged. Tampered with by the addition of a soporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it. A sleeping drug? Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop? Mr. Naruhodo. Of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea. No, that's what he means. Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible, unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. What? Mr. Sholmes? Well, Seaman? Eh? I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew and the captain himself would be hauled over the coals for aiding and abetting a renegade. Please, no more. I will tell everything. Eh? I cannot make progress like this for everyone anymore. These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe. Yes, so I decided to run away. I asked them to help me. We all agreed to help, everyone together. She threw away everything. Her fame in the ballet, Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel. I don't believe it. You are right. We put sleeping drug and chicken last night. Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point. Okay, you could have brought that up. We could not make all drug, how you say, dissolve? Ugh, talk about heavy seasoning. At midnight, in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was held by comrade on shore with small fishing boat. While all the passengers of the SS Booty slept soundly, thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So, that's what happened. The only people awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who disliked chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Cosmo's cabin door. But she would have been locked out of her own room. Unless somebody was in there. But how does that make sense? How does that make sense? Really, every cabin and locked in that case, and there would have been complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. What? Ah, of course, just like us. The other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins, after which they would have been overwhelmed with tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Right, and accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes! The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway, so not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the cabin door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. You have talked a long time and said many things. At this point, the point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that revealed the culprit's identity. And somebody who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night. But... I don't know about any of this. I'm just a little girl. You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. I am Sailor, and sailors don't listen to long, boring stories we don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes. A laudable trait. What? I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes? You hear it? That accusatory cry of guilt in the wind. What accusatory cry of guilt? So sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No, you must hear it with your eyes, for observation is the basis of all deduction. What are you talking about? I believe the time's come. For one final logic and reasoning spectacular to expose the truth. Here we go. So, Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please. With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With observation, my dear fellow, just as I said, of these two prevaricators. Observation. If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Asugi's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened. Precisely! You were delightfully quick to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for trace evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Cosmo died. Not even in the right room. Hello. Oh my god, look at that. You need a bigger shirt, my dude. Like, it's kind of... You need... Yeah, get a bigger shirt, my man.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff. You seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there. Yes, I don't know where the dirt comes from. So nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain. What are you trying to say? It would appear the significance of the stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. God, if I... Oh my god, I just had the worst idea for a raid message I've ever had in my life. Oh no. Y'all know. Hashtag unfortunate semen stain. Goddamn. It's a very large purple stain on the back of Siemens. Oknot's uniform. And what I think made it, and I think what made it is clear. Indeed it is. So Mr. Naruto, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Alright then. The evidence that proves what that stain on the back of Seaman Stroganov's uniform really is. It's the ink. Wherever that is. I had something about the ink. No, it must be this then. I thought we had a picture of the ink in particular. I'm not gonna. I can't use that though. Depending on who we raid, I cannot use that. A rather unusual color of ink. Purple. Ah, the penny drops. At last. Now you see the significance. I've been waiting for the penny to drop. I've been working to get back what I lost. Don't think I want what I used to want. Don't think I need what I used to need. Don't think I... And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of the... And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform that way. Which means... you must have been present at the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilled. Alright, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in dead student's cabin to make it look like wardrobe man did it. Then I press button to make Buria do emergency stop and bolt cabin door shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel. Chief, please. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me. She was white like sheet. Chief, please, you must help me. I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw student boy on the floor. What happened here? Please, don't tell anyone. My little one, my little furry friend. Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel's teaching. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Osby's cabin. Then he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell to the floor. Yes, that is right. So after the incident when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers. Only to find his occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard sound of something falling on the floor. That's when she went to take a look. No, Angel? The door was not locked, so she opened to look, and you already know what happened after. There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind. What? When you went to Mr. Asabi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? I already told you, when Nina opened door of student's cabin and looked inside, I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well, Miss Pavlova? Oh. Yes. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark, and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. Blunt force trauma usually doesn't happen when somebody falls. I don't know. Unless I'm just stupid. I don't think you get a blunt force trauma to the back of the neck by falling like that. Maybe I'm wrong? Is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real... No, we didn't have a breakdown. Ah, something very nearly slipped in my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes? This photograph. Yes, I took this myself, you know. The cause of death was a broken neck. Therefore, the victim died instantly. And then the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, then there's one particular area in this photograph that seems to me somewhat unnatural. What do you mean, unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, well... Oh god, here we go. This has been bothering me, but I don't think it's it. I don't think this is it, but you know what? What the hell? I got 5 things. It also could be his bandana. No, that seems right, though. I'll try this little spot here. It's been bothering me for the longest time.
Yes!
Oh. Word in Russian clearly wasn't written by Kazuma. Looking for some natural. That's the obvious point. Oh. I overthought it. Oh. No, I didn't. Particularly cross details extra by the... Oh, I see. Imagine, if you will, losing your footing yourself. In my opinion, you landed as the victim appears to be. Oh. It's not his hand, is it? Oh no, would you fall with a fist closed?
Yes!
Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then his fist just doesn't seem quite right. The exact same thought occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open palms flat. Yeah, that's true. Yet here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say. As though he were gripping something. What do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the fist to short. What, you did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow? Mr. Sholmes, show us, please. Why, of course, my dear madam, would I keep you in suspense? This is what I found. Oh my god. Oh, a crescent moon with a gemstone in the middle? Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right, a crescent moon. It's very pretty, but what does it tell us? It tells us nothing. I'm not so sure. That crescent moon looks familiar somehow. I know exactly where that's from. Observation, Mr. Naruhodo. That is the key. What? The truth is now tantalizingly close. How did that crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist? This is the final clue. The last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does the little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe. Find the answer with your own eyes. Yep, you're not gonna get
Yes!
that. Not that easy. Not that difficult. I like the shattering effect a lot, actually. Miss Pavlova, on your ear there. I see you have a crescent moon as well. Ah. What? And on your other ear. There seems to be a crescent moon missing. Okay, at least he didn't pull out the whole frickin' earring. That's what I thought for a second. I was like, oh. The little link holding on it must have broken, I suppose. Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there's only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Narrator? Yes. Yes! Miss Pavlova, Mr. Asuki must have grabbed that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear, perhaps just moments before you fell to the floor. In other words, last night in Mr. Asuki's cabin, you witnessed a moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. But then the question is, why did Mr. Asuki do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments? Oh no. Angel? No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night... What did you do to Cosmo? Ah. Oh my. Shattered. When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Turning away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin and I could relax after this horrible long day. Meow! Darka, wait! I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried whistling, waving her favorite toy. But nothing worked. Darka would not come back. Knock, knock. Clunk. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, what are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. The young man from your country. He was very polite and very kind. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again, I was going to leave the man's cabin. Just a moment. Sorry, but... Oh. Sorry, but... Oh, yes. Sure, I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Ah! Of course, you're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina. Huh? No. I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could I like with this man from a land in the faraway east, no Russian ballerina? Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But, what are you doing on the ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment. I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice. I see, so you run away. Please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone. Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. He's going to pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him? Oh, and it happened. Thing at once. Only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait, I shouted, and then Arka jumped out of my arms and down to the young man's feet, and he turned around to look at me. I pushed him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me. And that's when you went to fetch help? Seaman Stroganov was on duty out in the passageway. I heard Nina cry out, then thud on floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin door, shaking like a leaf. She looked at me and she said, "Help me, Biff. If they find out, I will be... Please, I have nowhere to go. So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Cosmo's cabin to make it look like I did it. So that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door. Yes. I went into cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And then I found Stowaway in wardrobe, still sleeping. Right, that's when he found me. So you worked out a plan. Yeah, I really like that. It makes me... It's an interesting parallel to the Mia case, because in both cases, your mentor and, like, the closest person to you, one of the closest people to you, has passed away because they were murdered. But in the Mia case, the man was so obviously evil, and just, you know, you just wanted to get him so badly. But, like, honestly, when I was playing through this, I didn't want it. I don't want it to be Nina. It's like, I feel so bad for her, but, like, it's inexcusable what she did, but... And it was it was all a misunderstanding, so it's a very interesting parallel to the Mia case, with a similar outcome in that, you know, your Mia dies, but just the motive wasn't there. So you worked out a plan to lay the blame on the stowaway. I closed the wardrobe doors and put back strange paper signs. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Suzato-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged the young man's body to a good place, and I used ink he was spilling on to write on floor. I wrote wardrobe. I wrote tap the bob. Tap the bob. So that person who found him would look inside wardrobe and find stowaway. And tell me, what of the glass bell? It was by my feet, so I picked it up. I see. But it was dark in cabin. I didn't notice the other half. The angel went back to her cabin, and I finished up. By pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway. Accordingly, the SS Buria did indeed come to an emergency hold at a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova. What? What? You said that you told Cosmo about the fact that you ran away from your home. It's because you were worried that he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Yes. But even if he had pulled the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? It was what he said first that made you skip. What he said first. Oh. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? She thought the inspector was the friend he was going to ask. Oh no. He said an inspector was his friend. Yes, meaning me, who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard. Thought if the police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the bell cord, May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. Okay, maybe I was pulled in a little bit. Was Mr. Asaki really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? I know he was going to ask Ryu for help. I just thought it was a misunderstanding. Well, I'm not Cosmo, so I can't know for certain, but... He was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, today's work is not yet done, it seems. There's one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? Yes. What action was the victim really about to take? What action was the victim really about to take at that moment? I know. Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was directed? Oh, another one of these. I like these. First, consider the victim's location. Yes, that's easy to do. Are you ready then, Mr. Hart? I like this song.
Take that!
Considering everything that had happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Cosmo was going to ring the bell for it. Yes, however... What is directly besides the bell cord? Wardrobe. The wardrobe? And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly. Miss Pavlova, please, think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asugi's exact words last night? Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. Another opinion? Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No. Mr. Asugi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if between them they might be able to help in some way, no doubt. Oh no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asugi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you'd had. Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did, and that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that. I'm sorry. Really, I'm so sorry. What have I done? And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Borea was finally laid to rest. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort that all out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she'd be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. See? I'm sorry. Seen Stroganoff? I wanted to help our angel, no matter what. But I didn't think about you, about how you lost your good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Cosmo's death feels like such a waste, but... Well... do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Duh. Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow, as much as it pains me. I'm going to have to hand you over to the consul to arrange your passage back to Japan. Yes, I did stow away after all. I couldn't really expect any different. So, you should get back to your cabin now. Looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it's even begun then. I think it's only days ago. Cosmo and I were laughing together about how we tear up the streets of London. It seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Oh, Suzato. Suzato-san? Naruhodo-san? I didn't know you had returned. Well, I haven't been back long. Dr. Hosanaga just told me I should pack, you know, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. Still, can't believe this has happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over just like that. Suzato-san. He had such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain. So many dreams, and now they've been cruelly taken away, just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible, but now that we know the truth, that was just an accident, just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruhodo-san. It's just too much. Yes, I know. Wish there was something I could say, as that's Holmes. No, it's just not. Inspector. My duty was to see Asuki-san safely to Great Britain, but I failed, and caused two of his closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I've let everyone down. No, you haven't, dude. It's not your fault. I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. And I'm free again now. Huh? Oh, here we go. We're on the mode. Surprise, Mr. Naruhodo? What is the meaning of this? Oh, a tri-flame apple. Simply that in my head. I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry? So I decided to restore them. For old time's sake, shall we say? You are a stowaway after all. You think this is funny? Oh my god, dude. Mr. Sholmes. We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not at all, not at all. I know it's a little late. May I offer my sincere condolences. The loss of your companion is truly heartrending. I hope that you will be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in your honor. Must be in the kitchen still. No, I left something over there. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port, in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was a stowaway. The terms of the study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be? In the light of Mr. Asugi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh no, I don't care for me, but... Poor Suzato-san. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely. But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications. Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid. Oh, but anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Yes. Suzato? Yes? Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... I'm sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. As I said, there's still more than a month before we reach England shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I have a month in which to study. To learn what I must to become a lawyer in Great Britain. Mr. Naruhodo. That's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all of that in just 40 days? There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Would you let me try? And if, by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma. He said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it, and I can't let all that passion just come to nothing. Anyway, it's for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. Yes, Ryu. What do you say, Miss Susato? I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you. So, what does our bespectacled inspector friend? What does our bespectacled inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, 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 it's madness. Yet fascinating, wouldn't you agree? Fascinating? Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest, give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is character, no? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until this very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion, and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector, after all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here. Oh, thank you, Inspector. If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next, and how best to make my report. Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer? I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant after all. Thank you. And, Mr. Naruhodo, I'd like you to take charge of this. What? Me? Are you sure? I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma, the great sword that's been in the Asugi clan for generations. Very well, I accept. I'll treasure it always. Oh my god, this is so sweet. So then, Miss Suzato. It seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet. It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. That'd be funny. We shall fill every spare moment with study. Yes, that's exactly what I need. But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you too. Goodness, what is it? Please throw me to the ground. 3 times. Should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. And no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. No, you were in shock. You didn't. No, I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I never should have thrown you. Not just once, but 5 times. The number just keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it. Do it. Don't even think about it. No. I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my entire life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. I observed your throwing technique with several times with great interest. I confess I was most impressed. When did he see that? I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling? Oh, well, in a way, it's not wrestling, but it's my own interpretation of an ancient jujutsu technique. Apparently it's called the Suzato Takedown. Leaves your head swimming, believe me. How beguiling. I'm a practitioner of the combative arts myself. I am a somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on the technique of your resting throw? Yes, I'd be honored. Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam. On me, huh? Of course. Are you ready, Mr. Naruto? Sorry. I knew it was gonna happen. As you can see, you throw from the abdomen. Oh yes, arresting indeed. And that is what you term the Suzato Takedown, is it? Actually, no, that was a Suzato Squash. God, I love them both. I love them both so much. In my groggy state of consciousness, scene from an evening recently spent with Cosmo recently flickered in my mind. Oh, recently spent with Cosmo flickered in my mind. Yeah, Ryu can just die, I guess. Garuma? Garuma May? That's right. Surprise sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asugi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely. The Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Garuma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels the wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important I have to do in Great Britain, and I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. God, it's so heartbreaking. That important thing he had to do. I still don't know what that was. But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Oh my god. That was fantastic, actually. To think, all this time we've had cases without a trial, investigations. I've never... A case without a trial. Now that's original, first of all. Let me just get you there. But then, oh my god, the way it was all put out, how, you know, if you're so heartbroken by your best friend's death, and then you want to know who did it, so you can put them away. Especially when they talk all about this assassination thing, it makes you think, they really lead you into believing that it was like this horrible, heinous, premeditated act. I don't know. And then you find out that it was just a misunderstanding by a Russian girl who was trying to escape the abusive ballet company. Presumably it was abusive. And then you feel bad for the killer who killed your best friend. It's like, oh my god. That just took my heart in so many different locations. I loved it. I loved it so much. And I was wondering how they were going to fit in another trial before he got to London. Because I knew he got to London in case 3. Because I saw, to be honest with you, it came in, I saw it in a promote message. Somebody else who was streaming this game. They didn't spoil anything, but they were like, finally you're in London. I was like, hey, what do they do for case 2 then? Is it still another thing in Japan? But, wow. There's so many questions that just answered for me. And it broke my heart in 2. And then it got me all resolved to do what I needed to do. And then the result of what I did ended up breaking my heart again. So it's like, I'm going to stop rambling soon, but what a great case. Just fantastic. So thank you. With that, I think we're done for the night. We've been going for 5 hours. I actually took a break for once in my goddamn life. That's nice. Yeah, great case, attorney. Let me go see who we can raid tonight. I think I know who we have to raid if he's still going. Oh, without a doubt. Okay, so real talk, I found a target. But I found a target. We're gonna raid Solid Plasma because he's doing his parody stream in support of Planned Parenthood. So we're gonna do that, and he will actually appreciate that raid message. It would be really hard to find somebody who else would, but I'm gonna send you all his way because he's doing the charity stream tonight. So solid. Playing Hades right now, so you know, probably fun. But yeah, thank you so much everybody who came out tonight. We're gonna use this awful raid message that I came up with on a whim, and we're just gonna have fun. Let me go there and wait till the ad ends before I hit the raid button. Let's have a sub. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Nope, there's an ad. Okay. A 30-second or two. Oh my god. Whatever. We'll just raid and I'll wait for the ad to end. Come on, guys. Let's go. Have a good night, everyone. Love you all so much. And have a great night. Bye.